Our journey begins inside your head. Right now, your brain is doing something amazing. It's taking a storm of raw, chaotic information from the outside world and turning it into a smooth, consistent story. Light waves, which have no color, become the bright blue of the sky. Air pressure vibrations become the complex beauty of a symphony, or the familiar sound of a loved one's voice. This is your personal reality show, directed, produced, and starring you. But this brings up a deep question. Is the show you're watching a true documentary of the universe? Or is it a clever work of fiction, a convincing illusion? Cognitive scientists often describe our perceptions as controlled hallucinations. Think about that for a moment. What you experience isn't the world as it is, but rather your brain's best guess about what's out there. This guess is based on billions of years of evolution, designed to help you survive, find food, and avoid danger. The red color of a ripe berry isn't a property of the berry itself. It's a signal your brain creates from specific wavelengths of light, a signal that screams, "Eat me, I'm full of energy." Your reality is a user interface, a set of icons that helps you navigate the complex operating system of the cosmos. Let's get our terms straight. Reality, in its simplest sense, is what exists independently of our minds. It's the atoms, the energy, the fundamental laws of physics that would continue to operate even if no one were there to observe them. An illusion, on the other hand, is a misinterpretation of that reality. It's a perception that doesn't match the physical facts. But here's the twist. If all our perceptions are interpretations, are they all illusions? Not at all. The key is how well our internal model matches the external world, and whether that model helps us successfully interact with it. This difference is crucial. When you watch a movie, you know the characters on the screen aren't physically present in the theater with you. Your brain interprets flickering lights and sound waves as a story, an experience that can feel incredibly real, making you laugh or cry. Still, you don't confuse the movie with the world outside the theater. In the same way, your perception of the world is a kind of biological movie. It's not the raw data of the universe, but it's an incredibly useful and interactive translation of it, allowing you to function, learn, and ask these very questions about its nature. Let's get practical. Imagine you're holding a fresh, red apple. Your senses tell you a story. It's red, it's solid, it tastes sweet, and it's crunchy too. A cognitive scientist might say that redness is an illusion, because color is just how your brain interprets light waves. Solidity is an illusion because the apple is mostly empty space, a buzzing cloud of atoms. Taste is an illusion, a chemical reaction on your tongue that turns into a sensation. But does calling these things illusions make the apple any less real? You can hold it, you can eat it, and it will nourish you. Its reality is confirmed by its predictable interaction with you and the world. Now compare that apple to a mirage in the desert. You see a shimmering pool of water in the distance. Your brain, desperate from dehydration, interprets the light bending from the hot air as that life-saving oasis you're looking for. This is a classic illusion. Why? Because when you try to interact with it, when you run towards it to drink water, you find nothing but hot sand. The mirage fails the test of interaction. It's a perception that leads to a wrong prediction about the physical world. The apple, however, delivers on its promises. Its perceived properties guide you to a real, tangible interaction. This is where the line becomes clearer. An experience isn't an illusion just because our brain constructs it. It becomes an illusion when that construction misrepresents the underlying reality in a way that leads to a failed interaction. The desktop icon for a file on your computer isn't a small physical folder. It's a graphical representation, a kind of illusion. But it's a functional one. Clicking it reliably opens your document. It works. It connects you to a deeper reality, the binary code on your hard drive, in a useful way. Our perception of the apple works the same way. So the word illusion is relative. It depends on context and purpose. The apple's redness is a real property in the context of human experience and survival, even if it's an illusion from the perspective of fundamental physics. This doesn't create a contradiction. It tells us that reality has layers. There's the objective reality of particle physics and the subjective reality of conscious experience. Both are valid in their own domains. The mistake is to dismiss one in favor of the other, to say that the apple isn't really red or that atoms don't really exist. For centuries, philosophers have argued about this puzzle, leading to two main ideas. One group, called idealists, suggests that the mind and what it sees are the only things that are truly real. The physical world to them is just an idea, something our minds create. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? An idealist would say no, because sound is something we hear, and it needs a mind to exist. Without a brain to understand the vibrations, there are just silent waves moving through the air. This way of thinking puts the most importance on our own personal experience. On the other side are the realists. They argue that a real physical world exists whether our minds are there or not. The universe of galaxies, stars, and tiny particles was here long before we saw it, and it will still be here after we're gone. For the realist, a falling tree makes sound waves whether we hear them or not. Our minds don't create reality, they just evolve to notice a small part of it. This view supports the factual reality that science wants to understand, a reality that follows consistent, universal rules that are true for everyone, everywhere. So, who is right? The truth, as is often the case in the universe, is probably not about picking a side, but about appreciating both. Your personal reality is super important. It's where all your joys, fears, loves, and dreams come from. It's the world you truly live in. To think of your own experience as just a trick is to not value your own life. Still, believing that only your mind is real is a dangerous path that ignores the proof of a shared, consistent world outside of you. It's a type of solipsism, the lonely idea that you are the only mind in the universe. It's easy to test the limits of a purely personal viewpoint. Close your eyes and stand in the middle of a busy street. Believing that the oncoming bus is just something you see in your mind won't stop its physical mass from crashing into your mass in a very real and terrible way. Your personal reality is powerful, but it's limited by the rules of factual reality. The bus is real. Its tiny particles and movement exist outside of your thoughts. This simple, though harsh thought experiment shows us that we need to respect both the world in our heads and the world our heads are in. The real answer isn't about picking a winner between subjective and objective reality. It's about understanding their relationship. Our brains aren't trying to trick us, they're trying to help us. They create a simplified, useful model of the universe so we don't have to calculate quantum physics just to catch a ball. Calling this model an illusion is technically correct, in a small, scientific sense, but it misses the big picture. It's like calling a map an illusion because it's not the actual territory. It's not at all. Its value comes from its ability to represent the territory in a way we can use. Our senses and our science aren't enemies. They are partners in the quest for understanding. Common sense, born from our subjective experience, tells us that apples are real. Science, a tool for probing objective reality, tells us it's made of atoms governed by physical laws. These aren't conflicting statements. They are different levels of description for the same phenomenon. Science enriches our common sense reality, explaining why an apple is nutritious, why it appears red, and how it grew from a seed in the light of a distant star. It adds depth and wonder to the world we experience every day. This synthesis allows us to navigate the world with confidence. We can trust that the chair will hold us, that water will quench our thirst, and the sun will rise tomorrow. These are reliable features of our shared reality. At the same time, we can remain curious and humble, knowing that our perception isn't the whole story. There's always more to discover, a deeper layer of reality waiting to be explored by the next generation of telescopes, microscopes, and brilliant minds. Our user interface is great, but we should always try to understand the cosmic hardware it runs on. So is life just a perception? Yes and no. The life you experience is a perception, a beautiful and intricate story woven by your brain, but it's a story about something real. It's a story about a vast and awe-inspiring cosmos that exists whether you do or not. The great gift of human consciousness is that we can be both the audience to this story and the scientists trying to read the script. By embracing both our personal experience and the objective universe it reflects, we find our true place in the cosmos. as the sentient beings who can understand the reality from which we came.